Greetings and salutations one and all. Welcome to the night shift. This is where we close out the night shift week. Now we do a thing we call Real Talk Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. How you doing? I say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio, those locked in on PEMGTV.com. Big ups to you. All the affiliate stations carrying the shows, thank you. Those who are locked in here at kevinstew.com, glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't even try. Kicking it off a little bit differently tonight. No, not kicking it off with soca music. Going straight to the question. What kind of world are we living in? The sound of Anthem Band. When them a go tired of the fuss and fight, the youth them just a war and them a lose them life. Better them go find a little hustle and go put on the gun. We don't know, but the system a turn them in a outlaw. I'm sure them a get charged with murder, but the youth them a get the order, and them no care about no officer. What kind of world are we living? Pure violence and crime. What kind of world are we living? Too much killing all the time. What kind of world are we living? Pure violence and crime. What kind of world are we living? Youth them a lose them body. What I really want them now penetrate. Sit down in a office and not hesitate. Them should have tried give the youth them a future before it's too late. Before the violence that broke out like cancer, better than go try find the answer. Look how much people get started, and still yet them don't know the father. What kind of world are we living? Pure violence and crime. What kind of world are we living? Too much killing all the time. What kind of world are we living? Pure violence and crime. What kind of world are we living? Youth them a lose them mind. What kind of world? Say what kind of world? Oh, what kind of world are we living in? I want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. Pulse Media Group and being in the moment is priceless. You can give them a call. What can they do for you? Everything you see right here on kevinstew.com and so much more. They can host your website, they can create your website, they can provide you with streaming services for your events. If you want to take it a step further and have your own broadcasting channel, you can do that too. Just give them a call, 754-999-6020, or visit them at pulseemg.com. I want to say thanks also to Althea SU. Althea SU and her Healing Heavenly Hands. She's a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. Give her a call. She comes to you, brings her table, has her oils, and of course her Healing Heavenly Hands. The only requirement, when she's done, well, outside of paying her anyway, but when she's done, just get her off her table. You can go sleep somewhere else. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment also. Reggae Global Entertainment will be your booking agents, your tour management, organizers.
your copyright, take care of your copyrights, your publishings, your trademarks, your business registrations, and so much more. Marketing, promotion, give them a call. 954-998-8034. And of course, GMAT Music Solutions. They usually handle our musical therapy. Thank you for sponsoring that, GMAT Music Solutions. They provide the sound, light, stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. They bring your event to life. Just give them a call. 754-307-GMAC. Visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com, and you can also do your online shopping there. So this week has been one of those weeks that you really have to ask this question here: what kind of world are we living in? But not just this week. It's a question that you kind of need to be asking, or have been asking for quite a while, not just now. Here it is. Oh, by the way, I invite you guys to share, invite someone in to tune in. If you are here, you might know someone else that needs to be here, that you think this show will benefit them. And you're welcome to jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. The stew pot is what others call a chat room, but we're fancy over here. We call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things bubbling. We're interactive. It's a judgment-free zone. You can remain anonymous. You can click on the little gear and where it says customize and change your name. It's up to you. We just ask that you remain respectful. You can call, you can text also. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. You call, you text, you WhatsApp. You can email me at djkevinstew@gmail.com or go to kevinstew.com and email from the contact me section. That goes straight to my email. Those of you overseas and you want to Skype, you can do that too. Kevin.stew is my Skype handle. Now, can you answer this question? What kind of world are we living in? How do you see it? You know, with what has been happening lately, and thanks to Anthem Reggae Band for putting together this song, because it's one of those songs that speaks volumes. It asks a question that gets you thinking, and we need to be thinking. What kind of world are we actually living in right now? You know, how are we relating to each other? How do we see each other? Do we see each other through rose-colored lenses? Do we see each other through blooded lenses? Yeah, they both give you a little bit of a red hue, don't they? But different ideas behind them. Someone already put in the stew pot a messed up one where human lives don't matter anymore. Common human decency has gone out the door, and hatred is at the forefront of everyone's minds. Tonight, I wanted to share a little bit from Kevin Stew's pot. And in a few minutes, we'll be joined by Coozie Mellers. Now, those of you who don't know Coozie, you will get to know him in a few minutes. A few things I want to get across to anybody listening. One, those posts that you feel it necessary to share because you want to help to get the word out, check them out. If they're old posts, when you post them now, so all right, let me tell you where I'm getting from. Let me just go straight to it. People have been sharing with me some posts from 2 years ago. Now, had I not seen these posts before, whether they be video clips or newspaper articles, whatever it is, had I not seen them before, I would have probably said, here we go. This is happening again. Here's another one. Listen, if you send me something and I ask you when and where was this, please know when and where it was. Because all you're doing is adding fuel to a fire that doesn't need to be fueled. When you're sending me old posts of issues that happened a long time ago that may have already been resolved, and I go ahead and I post just that video or that article without adding to it that this was from 2 years ago and it is still happening today, just as a point of reference, it creates a different emotion. When I get a post of a police officer using excessive force on a pregnant woman, had I not known that I saw this post over a year ago, I would have been posting it and adding a comment and saying, hey, listen, you know what? Here we go again. This is another case. But this is something old, and it may have very well have already been addressed. I don't need to bring up that again. I can make reference to it, but it doesn't need to be posted like it is something new. Because all those people that are protesting right now because of whether police excessive use of force or feeling being unjustly treated by police officers, the climate right now, anything negative towards law enforcement is just going to fuel that fire. And if we want to support, if we want to encourage change, that is not what we want. We want to raise awareness, yes, but we don't want to stoke that fire, not blindly. So if you have something to send to me, one, if you don't know when and where, please tell me in that message you don't know when and where this was, but you found it necessary to share it with me. I'm fine with that. But don't just arbitrarily send me things and it already has a caption, let's make this go viral. Make it go viral for what? To what end? What do you plan to accomplish from it? All these people that are out there rioting. Rioting for what? Is that how you want to get your voice heard? Yeah, Malcolm X or Martin Luther said the rioting is the voice of those that are not being heard. But that was not his message. His message was, let's fix this issue. And that is not going to fix the issue. The rioting, the destruction of property, the vandalism, that's not going to fix the issue. That's just going to make it worse. Because you push me and I push you back, you're going to push me again. And we keep pushing each other. What does that resolve? Instead of asking, okay, why did you push me? Let's talk about it. And because of our egos, we can't get to the point where we talk about things. Get over yourself. On the phone, I have with me someone who had the experience, or a few experiences, with the law. And it's not to say that he's a criminal. By no means. and he gets to share some of that today. I saw where he made a post earlier today, and he'll tell us all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the one and only Coozie Mellers. Coozie, welcome to the night shift, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me today.
Welcome, man. Sorry you had to come in on that little bit of a rant, but there are some things that I needed to get off my chest, and tonight's show was going to be focused on doing quite a bit of that. But I saw today where you made a post, and I reached out to you for you to come on and share about that, and to let people know firsthand of what your experience was being targeted, because based on that post and what you said in it, to me that is being targeted. So if you could, let's do a quick introduction, because tonight is not one of those shows where we get to feature Coozie Mellers, the artist. We're talking to Coozie Mellers or Courtney, the individual,
Yes.
who has had the experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people really don't understand. I get the understanding myself that a lot of white people really have no idea of what black people go through on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I've been here in America for a long time. I was born in Jamaica,
Right.
but my parents brought me here as a youth, and I think I was even around 6 or 7 before I faced my first encounter with racism, and that's from the little kids my age. You know, I didn't even know what it was at first. You know, little white boys chasing me in school. You know, at least after school, just because of the color of my skin. You know, that was crazy to me.
Mm.
But you know, years advance, and I'm in Connecticut here, and you know, the story that I posted earlier, I actually posted it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take it down. And somebody actually had seen it before I took it down and messaged me, asked me why I took it down. I said, well, you know, something I want to, you know, be more positive, if anything, and, you know, I don't think anybody really cares. And the person said to me, you know what, this is the right time for a story like that. You know, you should post it. So I said, okay, let me go and post it back. Anyway, what happened is I was on the way to visit my daughter, Brianna, the little singer. You know, she lives in Danbury, Connecticut. And
Okay.
the way for me to get there, I have to take Route 25, and I could either cut over on some backwoods, which take me through the white people's area, or I could go straight down 25, which is a slower route, and it's still white people's area anyway. You got to actually pass close to Sandy Hook, where all those kids got shot up.
Mm.
Anyway, so I'm on the way there, and it's the afternoon too, so you figure I'm more safe in these areas in the afternoon. So somehow it's not good to be in a white area after dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm driving, cop pulls me over, and first thing on my mind is, okay, what did I do? Because I'm sure the driving in this area, I'm going to keep to the speed limit because I know better.
Right.
And yeah, I gave him all the information that he asked for. Because I usually don't give police any reason to, you know, really get upset with me. You know, that way, if he's going to give me a ticket or whatever, we just get the ticket done with and I go about my way. But this guy, so I asked him, okay, why did you pull me over? So he says, well, I was concerned about you. I figured maybe you are lost or you're in distress.
Mm?
So I'm like, well, I'm neither of those. I don't know what would give you that impression. Was I going over the speed limit or something? He says, no, I was just concerned about you. So I'm like, I really don't understand. If I'm not breaking the law or anything, why would you pull me over? Why would there be any reason to be concerned about somebody that's not breaking the law or doing anything wrong?
Right.
So he says, what do you do for a living? I see a guitar in your car. Are you a musician? I said, yeah. He says, were you playing? I said, no. I'm actually on the way to Danbury to go see my daughter. He says, have you been drinking? I said, no. Like, I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, none of the above. He says, well, you know something? I think that you've been drinking. I'm going to call in a dog to sniff out your car. I'm like, why would you do that when you just told me that you were concerned about me, actually for no reason? You know, this guy starts to get upset with me and everything, and, you know, he keeps me there for a while. And eventually he came back to me and says, you're lucky. You know, he was there cursing and going out badly, talking about he got a call. So he's going to let me off this time. Let me off for what? There's no particular reason why this guy pulled me over. There's no particular reason to let me off of anything. You know, but being where I was, things like that can happen. And that's why sometimes I decide to take a back road. That way I don't see too many police. Now, one time I'm in the back road, and a cop pulls me over. And he wants the license and registration and everything. I'm reaching for it. The guy took out his gun, pushed it into the window, and he says, that's the second time that I was going to shoot you. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize when the first time was here. So
what did you do the first time,
though? I don't even know what to do. Up to now, I have no idea. You know, the first time, I guess I'm black in the area, you know, because I'm
okay.
like, yeah, I'm like, you know, I don't even understand what's going on here. I said to him, listen, I'm just trying to go see my daughter. You know, it's dangerous going to see my daughter, you know. She lives in Danbury, and the road to get there, I have to pass through either the Wilton cops or these cops, you know, over right by the Sandy Hook area. And it's not easy. I used to have a gig that we used to play in Danbury and, on Monday nights. And every Monday on the way home, the cops used to pull us over. We used to hate playing there just because of that. You know, a cop pulls me over, and what he does, he follows us for a little while, and then he goes around us, and he pulls over to the side of the road. I said, you know what, I know by him pulling over, this can't be good. He waits till we pass him, and he
puts on his lights.
And pulls us over. So I'm asking, why did you pull us over? He says, well, you guys were blinding me with your high beams. I said to him, we had on our high beams because we're in the woods at nighttime. There's no lights. And as soon as you went around us, I turned on the lights.
Right.
But obviously, when he went around us, he just wanted to look and see what color we were.
In the vehicle.
And then when he saw that we were black, he pulled over and then pulled us over. And then, you know, I don't even know what else he said that night, but there's so many stories. Let me give you another quick one. I went to the airport to pick up Sugar Miners, me and Wackies. You know? And on the way home, we were on the New Jersey Turnpike, and cop pulls me over. I ask him why he pulls me over. You know, normal question. The guy pushes the gun in the window again, because I had to ask him, you know, I had to pull right down the window and ask him the question. Puts his gun in the window. He says, come out the car. Now, he has the gun up to my head. He's pushing my head, you know, where I can't really have my head straight.
Wait,
and he's asking
the gun
for
is on
registration.
Your head?
Yes, it's up to my temple. And this is because I changed lanes without signaling. Imagine that. I'm like, well, Wackies and Sugar Miners is in the car. They're seeing everything that's going on. At least if he kills me, I have a witness. Nothing would come of it, obviously, because all these murders that's gone on so far with these guys, you know, begging the cops to release them from the chokehold, you know, and it's on film.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, you know. I mean, two black guys in the car, you know, saying that, well, he was killed by a cop. You know, hold on, before I even go any further, a lot of people heard of Bigger Haitian. When I first heard the story, it wasn't even Bigger Haitian that was telling it, but then one day I was on the way to New Jersey again, and I heard him on the radio explaining it more fully.
I didn't hear that story.
His younger brother was chilling, you know, and undercover cops came up and asked for drugs. So his younger brother, realizing they're just undercover cops asking for drugs, the guy got smart with them, told them to go about their business, cursed at them. The cop got out the car, shot the guy, and killed him. I think his name is Patrick or something like that.
What?
Killed him, And his excuse was that, well, the gun went off by mistake. It was just a mistake that he killed the guy. I'm pretty sure nothing came of that either, man. There's so many different instances where black people have gotten killed over nothing at all, And I'm just lucky because I can go on and on and on about being disrespected by police just because of the color of my skin. Sometimes it's not just about driving. You could be walking and they target you, It's just crazy. I got story after story after story. And it's something, in America. And it's not just police. I've been walking down the road and I've been spit on and called nigger.
What?
And yeah,
where?
It's humiliating. Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut. I was walking home and somebody spit on me and called me nigger.
How long ago was this?
It was some time back, but it's not like 10 years or so. It's not anything that I really even share with people because.
Here's why. Here's why I ask you that.
Yeah.
Coozie, here's why. And big ups, Dan. Welcome to the show, Dan Minot. Veteran entertainer in the industry and upstanding citizen also. Big ups to you, Dan. Welcome. And others in the stew pot, welcome. Marlon, big ups to you. Host of Real Rockers. I ask you that, Coozie, because there are people who are up in arms right now. People who are protesting right now because of what has been happening recently. That is all that is on the tip of their tongues. So the narrative is, it's justice for George Floyd and justice for Ahmaud Arbery. And it kind of fades off after Ahmaud, because you don't even hear people talking about Ahmaud much anymore either. Right now, all the buzz is George Floyd, and they're saying that all the protests and all the riots are as a result of George Floyd, and it's not really. When you really look at it, it is not. And some people are saying, what has the U.S. come to? This is not the U.S. that we know. This is not our country, our beloved country and whatever. Listen, this is nothing new.
Nothing new.
It's not new. And that's why I asked you how long ago this was. So now you're telling a story about 10 years ago in Stamford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, the thing.
It would seem like it's a story that you told of something that happened last week.
Yeah, these things, they stay with you, because it's humiliating.
Now, if you had lost your cool at that point and did something to the individual that spat on you, we wouldn't be talking to you today.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. Someone spit on me? As far as I am concerned, that's attempted murder. I have no clue what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no clue what what conditions I might have, how my immunity is, how susceptible I am to diseases. Outside of the fact that it is just downright disrespectful. Now,
yeah,
in some places, that gets you shot. And depending on who is doing the shooting and how much money they have and what kind of lawyer that they have, they can get off with that being defending themselves. because of an
Yeah.
act of aggression. Were you able to report that spitting on incident?
Not at all. Not at all. I didn't even think about it. These things, to me, as I say, it's America, and it's normal. I don't really put anything past people these days. You know, it's a thing that I grew up with. I was here in the 70s, you know, and it was a lot worse back then. And I remember when I found out that this one and that one was Jamaican. We kind of banded together closely because, you know, I didn't really know many Jamaicans when I came here.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I realized quickly that racism was a thing, you know, and it's gotten better. It's gotten a whole lot better because when I was growing up, you never used to see, like, interracial couples. Maybe something on TV or something, but you wouldn't see this. I mean, even right through high school, I knew one guy that was with a white girl, and I thought it was amazing. You know, now it's a regular thing. And I had mentioned in one of my comments today that I was in Westport, Connecticut, with a white girl in 90, I think it was like 90, 91 or something. I'm not sure, but we went to get some breakfast, and a cop walked in. And you can cut the animosity in the ear. It was so thick that this guy, I tell you the truth, man, he wanted to hurt me badly, you know, staring at me and, you know, the look on his face and everything. So the girl says to me, wow, you know, she can feel it. Let's get out of here. A cop, you know.
Yeah. Someone sworn to
yeah.
protect and serve.
Yeah.
But protect and serve whom? That seems to be the question, no. Who are they protecting and serving? You know, when I look at all this that is happening as a result of the George Floyd incident, there are some questions that I don't hear being asked. I'm going to run through this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
George Floyd was removed from his vehicle by the police officers that came on the scene. There are other people in his vehicle. Where are the statements of the other people? 1. 2, he was in a store. What, about 10 minutes prior to the cops coming? If you go to a store and you use counterfeit money in that store, do you go outside and sit in your vehicle in front of that store waiting for them to realize that you used counterfeit money? That doesn't make sense. Where is the video footage from inside the store? Didn't these cops have body cams? Where's the footage from their body cams? Where's the audio that would go with that footage? Cops are first responders. They all know CPR. In their training, they're taught how to apprehend a suspect and the position to put them in. They know. In fact, I learned of positional asphyxiation from a police officer. They know you don't lay someone on their stomach. For that very reason, they can die for an extended period of time. But not only was he laid on his stomach for an extended period of time, someone was on his back. And notice I said someone was on his back. I'm not talking about the person whose knee was on his neck. Because that is another narrative that is being fueled. Everything is focused on Derek Chauvin, the officer with his knee on his neck, because that was the video that came out. What happened to the video from across the street that shows the other cops, the one holding his legs and the one kneeling in his back? Have you ever laid on your stomach and had someone in the small of your back? Even a child on your back?
Not that I can think of. And listen, they said that one of them checked his pulse and said that I feel no pulse. And still, up to 3 minutes afterwards, the knee was still on the neck after having no pulse.
Coozie, the one that checked the pulse is allegedly EMT.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the jury is still out on that EMT because I don't know if any EMT that wear a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And from what I have done some research and looking into the uniforms. EMT uniform and the sheriff department out of Minneapolis, their uniforms are very similar. Very similar. This guy had a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
Not only that, as the assailant in custody, the individual in custody has gone unconscious. As a first responder, your first job is to see to the welfare of that individual. So none of the 4 cops did anything to bring George Floyd back to consciousness. And when the EMT came on the scene, they didn't do anything to bring him to consciousness, to try to revive him or anything. So now, not only are those 4 that are there that they should be charged, but the 2 that came as EMT, they need to be charged because they did nothing to save his life. You don't wait until you get him into the ambulance to try to save his life. You do it right there.
Exactly.
You don't keep handcuffs on him. You handcuff someone. You will reduce the surface area of their lungs and their ability to breathe, especially when they're laying on their stomach. You lay on your stomach right now, put your arms behind your back, and see how well you breathe, just without any weight on your back. And everybody's looking at Chauvin with his knee on his neck and saying how he killed him. No, he contributed. Yeah, he didn't kill him. Think about it. They all played a part in his death. But the main contributor is that individual who had his weight on his back. Because you exhale and can't inhale.
Mm-hmm.
And your lungs will collapse and you will die from what they call positional asphyxiation. If it was a baby, they would say he died from SIDS.
Yeah.
And I wonder what has happened to our common sense? Is it not common anymore? Well, I guess we've been saying that it's not common for a long time, and now we know why.
You know, I see this as a great time to actually make a change for the better if people actually use it for what it can be used for. This message is spread across the world right now. It's not just America that's protesting.
Exactly.
So now that we have people's attention, we can actually make something out of this. We could actually write a history right here because, this is a movement. They say that the revolution will not be televised. That's before we had cell phones. Now everything is basically televised.
Everything is captured.
Yes. So now that we have people's attention, we have actual white people that are marching with us. We need to use this and actually come out on the other side with some major changes. Not just the police, as we spoke about earlier. This thing has been going on for the longest, and you have all kind of different leaves from the branches. It shows up in like every section, every dimension of our liberty.
Yeah.
Whether it be your pay, because they say, look at the difference, as a matter of fact, in Obama and Trump, the education, look at the background. Fact is, you have to do so much more as a black person to be considered for the same job that a white person would get without an education.
More often than not, yes.
Yeah, there's so much to say, about racism. I remember, I went to a trade school, and somebody there called Xerox. I'm going to call them out. Call Xerox for me to get me a job there. And it was an entry-level position. And I remember the guy saying, well, we can't give him the job because he needs experience in such and such. Well, the man said to, it's one of the teachers at the school. He said to him, well, right here you have entry-level positions, so I don't know what you're talking about, experience. And this man has X amount of years here at the trade school, so, he fits the position. But trade school, well, he's overqualified. I eventually ended up getting the interview. I didn't even go because I was like, there's no reason to go. They don't want me already, so the most I'm going to do is go there and waste my time.
Right.
And it's an entry-level position. But they don't want to give me the job.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, it was like that a lot, applying for just little jobs in a mall or McDonald's or whatever. And I haven't seen it when I was working at Champ Sports. A young black guy came in there, and his pants were not what it should be, I guess. And a lot of people don't realize when you go to just pick up application, they look at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the interview that made me.
And they form a judgment.
At that point. Yeah, the guy came in the shop, he filled out the application. He didn't even get an interview or anything, and his application was thrown in the garbage. I felt the way about that, I was like, wow. It's just crazy. I'm pretty sure that if he would have dressed a certain way, maybe he would have had better consideration or something like that. I don't know. But I know that I used to do the same thing. I would go and grab X amount of applications. I might bring them back another day.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely look at you and judge you before they give you a chance to, tell them about your background and stuff like that. The first thing that they see is color. No matter what anybody says, people that live through it, the Bob said, who feels it knows it.
Yep.
I remember getting off the highway, I think it was in Delaware, and the whole band, and we went to get some gas, and a cop followed us and parked across the street. So we were all aware of the cop across the street. And we were saying, we know as soon as we come out of this gas station, what's going to happen. And as soon as we pulled out of the gas station, the cop pulled us over. We were like two cops saying that we fit the profile of some bank robbers. I'm like, yeah, right. Bank robbers.
Okay, which bank was robbed?
You tell me. Bank robbers. I got that at least twice. Bank robbing went on and we fit the profile. So, I mean, I see it, I hear it, and I recognize it. It's just something that you live with. And some people feel like, well, it's not real. It doesn't happen. In this day and age, we've gone past that. That's not true. Not true at all. I'm here looking, I see Bridgeport, Connecticut on MSNBC right now. It's crazy. Yeah, they're protesting all over the place.
And, I saw a question asked on social media today. How do we get from protesting to policy change? Eddie Edwards asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to respond, you don't. Why would you stop protesting? We need to move from rioting to policy change. Rioting is fueled by anger, by rage, and often comes with little to no logic. Protesting, on the other hand, is different. Because you're aware of something that is happening and you're raising your voice against it. Something completely different. People often go about, using rioting as an excuse. Here it is, someone posting in the stew pot. We must not just focus on Mr. Floyd's death. We must focus on criminal reform, the laws that protect police officers by their unions. We must fight to change the laws that only apply to whites, because they apparently don't apply to colored people. Understand this. I said to someone recently, the way to fight this battle, this war, is with the very same tools that are being used against us. The law is being used against us. Learn the law. When an officer is going to say to you, you fit the description of, and say, we believe that, and we need to search your vehicle, that's a cop-out. Because really and truly, no officer of the law can search your vehicle without a warrant, can enter your home without a warrant. And if they don't have a warrant, they shouldn't be searching you. But we don't take the time out to understand these little things. Someone sent me a video this week, yesterday, actually. I had seen this video before, where someone is saying the way to deal with cops is to say, I don't answer questions. Here's a few things that I see wrong with that. One, it was a Caucasian man who was doing the narrating. And everyone in that video that used that line was Caucasian. And the officer walked up politely and walked away politely. Here is our reality. When people of color are stopped by police officers, they walk up to them with their hands on their guns. That's one. Two, as you have explained to us tonight, as you have told us tonight, there are times when those guns are already drawn and trained on you. Not only trained on you, but in your case, placed to your head. At the end of that incident, you had all right to get that officer's name, rank, and serial number. You have all right to get everything, every bit of information, because that police officer works for you. And this is one of the things that we also fail to realize. Anybody in a public office works for the public. I'm not American. I wasn't raised here. I've been here less than 20 years. But I have children here. I have children that were born here. I have children that are going to grow up here. Lord willing, they'll make it to adulthood. Because we've realized that even the children are getting killed. Playing with squirt guns.
And they're right.
Exactly. Someone posted in the stew pot, Los Angeles has a black district attorney, and she hasn't prosecuted police that was recorded committing misconduct. Right. And there have been several instances in Los Angeles. They're called public servants for a reason, but they don't do the public service. They do aspects or portions of the public. They're a service to them. When you're going to call the cops and say, there's a black man here, as a white person, there's a black man here, and he's threatening me, as a white female saying that a black male is here in a section of Central Park that is a thicket, pretty much. Rambles is what it's called. And you tell him prior to doing it that you're going to do it. That's a problem. But understand that this is not where the problem started. This is not the main part of the problem. Understand that it goes way beyond this. It coming from... There's nothing that doesn't roll downhill. Gravity dictates that things roll downhill. This is coming from the top. When you can have a judicial system that is biased against people of color, what do you think is going to happen with those that uphold the law or say or swear, take an oath to uphold the law? When I recently did a social psychology course, and a section of the course featured an experiment that was done where college students enacted a prison life. Some of them were prisoners, some of them were guards. And within days, those who were acting as prisoners started behaving like real prisoners. And those who were acting as guards started behaving like real guards. We're talking about punishment, we're talking about hunger strikes, we're talking about taking away sleeping spaces, the mattresses, the beds, the sheets. And this experiment was conducted in a college campus building. Now, if just from an experiment, and even the professor conducting the experiment, his position was that of administrator for the prison. He himself got caught up in the position, in the act. There are some actors who are consider themselves method actors. Paul Campbell is one of them. When Paul Campbell did the role of the lunatic, prior to filming, Paul spent days out on the streets. He walked barefooted. He didn't shower. He slept under trees. He lived the role before he played the role. You can ask him. He told it to me right here on this show. This is what happened with these individuals. They believed that what they were doing was real. When we have these these individuals who have gone into training, when they're conditioned to believe that individuals that have a certain appearance tend to be criminal, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to treat everybody that falls into that category as criminal. So if typically black people wearing jewelry are drug dealers, then if you're black and you're wearing jewelry, you're a drug dealer. If you have dreads, you smoke marijuana. If you're Jamaican, you definitely have some weed. So here's what our strikes against you, Coozie. The moment this officer hears you speak, oh, wait, we have another yardie. He must have some weed. Tipper Rapper Robert did a song, No Rubber, When a Chain Grabber. Don't harass me, Mr. Officer. This is not a new song. You guys did the song that I started tonight's show with, Anthem Reggae Band. What kind of world are we living in?
Yeah. I have a suspicion that the government perpetuates the situation with the way they handle things, man, where, it's not like a lot of white people know the contributions that black people made to society. A
Oh,
lot of
they
white
know.
people generally think that black people are lazy. They haven't done anything, and looking for handouts and what so have you. A lot of them that don't really know black people, that's the way they think. And it's not like they got up, this morning and started thinking that way. It's something that was put into their head, and a lot of
Hmm.
black people don't know their history and the contributions that other black people have made to society.
Yeah.
I even feel like, in the ghettos, the projects, a lot of black people don't have the self worth that they should have. That's why there's a lot of shooting and, murders and everything in the ghettos, because a lot of people, when they say certain things, dissing each other, like, you ain't this and you ain't that. I know I ain't such and such, and whatever. They really feel like there's no getting out of the ghetto. This is my life. This is how I was born, and I'm going to die here. And sometimes it's like the quicker I get out of here, the better, because, things are not going to change for me. I was, as I said, I was born in Jamaica. I came up here and I grew up in the projects.
Hmm.
I had to leave the projects on my own, and basically left my parents living in the projects. Finally, my father, he bought a house in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and that was the best thing that he ever did, in my opinion, get out of the projects.
Yeah.
And I promised myself that I wouldn't have any of my children grow up in the projects. And if there's anything that I stuck to, it was that. None of my kids grew up in the projects. None of my kids have the mentality of certain people that live in the projects, because there is a ghetto mentality.
Yeah.
There is. No matter how you slice it. I spent a lot of time there, man. I grew there. I know it. I was a product of my environment. I got in trouble when I was younger.
Hmm.
I mean, just like I remember the first time one of my friends, at least I heard that one of my friends was dead, and he was killed by a cop. His mother had some dispute with him. He was 17 years old. His mother called the police. A little vibe going on at home, and the cops came and shot him, killed him. I'm wondering how she felt
Killed him
knowing
right there
that
in the
her
home.
son. Yes, she called the police, and they came and shot him and killed him. My
Mm-mm.
my niece, her father was at his house doing what I don't know, but his sister called the police on him. They came, shot him, and killed him. So
Mm-mm.
I'm always saying one of the worst things that somebody can do when they have some kind of domestic incident
It's called the
is
police.
to call the police. That's like the last thing you want to do, because you never know what the outcome is going to be. There's too many instances where the cop came and shot first. If you remember last year, I think it's last year, you know, a guy called the police because his neighbor's door was open at nighttime, and the police came and
Uh,
shot through the window.
Shot through the window.
Yeah, and killed the
Yes.
woman in her
Yes.
own house,
Yes.
doing nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of them knocking at the door and, whatever. So, in my opinion, there's circumstances where there's nothing that you can do actually to avoid a bad situation. Nothing. Because if you run, they shoot. If you
Yep.
don't run, they shoot.
Yeah.
If you comply, they shoot. I remember here in Milford, or New Milford, whichever one, Connecticut here, a cop shot a 15-year-old that was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. They
Mm.
shot him and killed him. Another instance, they shot a guy, a black guy. All these are going to be black people, though. They shot him in the police car. His hands are behind his back. They said that he had a gun. His hand is behind his back.
How do you
Man,
have a
if you
gun in the police
if you
car
put him, yeah, if
handcuffed?
you put him in the car, yeah, you're arrested. They put you in the car. Obviously, they searched you. And if you have a gun, you have the gun behind your back because you're handcuffed with your hand behind your back. I don't see how these cops really get off of these things, you know. And as they were saying on the news, most of the time the cops get off. If they get fired, they get hired again in another city.
Listen, the cop that killed Philando Castile,
Mm-hmm.
not charged. Philando Castile said to the cop, and his girlfriend caught this on Facebook Live,
Mm-hmm.
I am a licensed firearm carrier. I am going to get my wallet. The cop shot him. You can pull up the video now. Anybody can pull up the video right now if they want to. His girlfriend caught the whole thing on Facebook Live. And the cop gets off.
You know, as long as we let it happen, it's going to happen. The thing is that if we protest, that makes no difference. I've seen peaceful protests over and over. And a lot of times when black people march, next thing you know, the KKK will march afterwards and they get a police escort. The thing is that we, doing what we're doing right now, it has to happen. For change to happen, somebody has to be arrested. Somebody has to be a felon. And, you know, the worst part of it, somebody most likely has to die because that's the seriousness of the times we're living in. The thing is that there can be no peaceful transition right now. I mean, you have to do something to get the attention needed to make a change because talking is not going to do it. It hasn't done it in the past, and it's not going to do it now. So now we have the attention of everybody.
Well, in a sense, I agree with you. And at the same time, I don't. And here's the part why I don't agree. It is expected of black people to be angry, and when they get angry, to get violent.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as far as I'm concerned, if I want to fuel or support a narrative that I have about that, I'm going to say or do something that is going to trigger black people. In the riots, there are a bunch of white people that were doing the looting and the burning and the destruction of the property. But the black people are blamed for it. When the white people stormed the government office armed, so now you walk into a government building with weapons drawn or weapons across your backs, and you go into police officers' faces shouting at them, calling them names. They were expressing themselves. When members of the black community decided that they were going to pick up arms, the chief of police requested of the governor that they suspend the right to bear arms. Are you for real right now? Because some black people are doing the same thing. In fact, they were more peaceful about it. And they weren't going
Mhm.
into any government buildings.
Yes, but realize this is the way white people made change as well. There was a time in the past, right here in America, where they were doing the same thing. I think they call it the Boston Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
Overseas as well, over in France and all these places in the past,
Yeah.
they've done the same thing. They had to take to the streets when they wanted change. And like I say, talking, they won't even listen to tell the truth. But we've done a lot of talking. We've done a lot of marching. We've done a lot of crying, a lot of funerals. And nothing has changed.
But talking to whom,
I
though?
know.
Who are we talking to? We're
I
talking to the
see. I see.
people who are enforcing the things that are being done. When these people can be removed and replaced, why are we not replacing them with people that we believe will listen? Someone
I agree. Yes.
someone just posted in the stew pot. Black people have to create economic power which will help them to achieve political power. They did that with Black Wall Street. There's a reason Black Wall Street doesn't exist today. Because they
Yeah.
did just that. We can't just, and here's another comment. We can't just march for a few days, protest for a few days. We have to be vigilant and keep all these issues at the forefront, even after George Floyd is buried. We suffer from
Yes.
short-term memory syndrome. I
Hmm.
told another broadcaster today we were in an extensive conversation. Sorry, because we weren't conning anybody. Extensive dialogue. We are short-sighted. We only
Yeah.
see as far as what is presented to us.
Yeah.
And
The news.
if we're presented this little issue right now, and we get all stoked up about it, and we raise our voices and we get together and we sing kumbaya and we say we're going to make this change. And next week, it's like a cat. You dangle a little string and we get distracted. Next week, something
Mhm.
happens to distract us. And we forget everything about that issue.
Yeah.
Sandra Bland died in police custody. And with everything that went on, her fingerprints weren't on the in fact, the plastic bags couldn't. How are you going to hang yourself with these plastic bags, these garbage bags? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, her fingerprints weren't even on the bags. But she hung herself with them. And people were up in arms for just a little bit. Yes, Sandra Bland, Sandra Bland, Sandra Bland. Now people are going, Sandra who? When
Mhm.
Tamir Rice was killed in that park with his little squirt gun, everybody was up in arms. They killed the baby. It was just a baby. What are they saying now?
I think this one is a little different, though. What people are doing. So we can only hope that it doesn't die down after the man is buried. Let's hope that this is the spark that makes a change. Because black people really, we need to be politicians. We need to be police officers. We need to be all the things that work against us. We need to be a part of it. That's why, a lot of people didn't like Jay-Z buying into the football thing, But I think that for us to make a change, we need to be a part of it.
Okay.
We can't have everybody else dictating what we do, what we say, and all that. We need to be owners. We need to be a part of the thing that we don't like so that we can make the rules and then maybe we'll like it,
I agree.
That's my opinion. You can't
I agree.
always curse something,
We need to
You
be
gotta
in
change
it.
it.
We need to be involved in it to make a change.
Yeah.
Don says black people can't dismantle racism. White people have to do it. Here's my thing. People have to dismantle racism. I don't care what color you are. People have to do it. We have to recognize that we're all just that. Because when that white man is in the hospital and he needs a blood transfusion, he doesn't know if it's a white person or a black person or a pink person that blood is coming from. They just know that it's a match.
Yeah.
When they're getting organ transplants, black people don't know if they're getting it from a white person or a black person. They just know it's a match.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find out that you get that blood from someone that is not of your race, or you get that organ transplant, what you gonna do? Return it?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, people. We need to start thinking beyond the superficial.
Yeah.
It's everything that is happening right now is happening at the superficial level. We're killing each other because what? Somebody stepped on my shoes. I don't like the way that this person was looking at me. They're up in my hood. What?
Yeah.
So
that's what I couldn't understand.
we all don't breathe this air. We all don't pay our taxes. We all don't have bills. What's going on here? So we come into this world being friends with everybody, because you look at the kids on the playground before we taint them, and everybody's playing with everybody.
Yeah.
And as they get a little bit older, we start telling them stories. And then we introduce them to a history that is generated in a certain way, that it doesn't give the full story. So
exactly,
we only perpetuate a situation, and we who are learning the history don't even decide that we're going to take it a step further and learn something for ourselves. No, we get caught up in what we're told, and we want to be told, and we want to be told, we want to be given the answers. You ever thought of working something out yourself? You ever thought of looking up something? Go read a book. See what you learn. Come with your own interpretation. That's what everybody else did. The people that are teaching you up their interpretation. So
yeah. When I was in high school here in America, I was taught, American history, and obviously American history starts with Americans, which is white people. When they talked about black people, they mentioned Martin Luther King, and they mentioned slavery. I think Booker T. Washington they mentioned.
Right.
I remember I was chosen to stand up and read I Have a Dream speech. And I remember even when they talked about slavery, I was embarrassed at the whole situation, just thinking, because I was like the only black person in the room when certain things was going on. Like even the speech. They made the one token black boy in the class read the speech. I didn't volunteer to read it. I was shy, first of all.
Right.
But, they could have easily have made a white guy say that speech. I don't know. Maybe I just think it was because I was black. Maybe it meant more to the teacher for me to read the speech. I don't know. But like I said, the thing is, my point is that they didn't really teach black history. Not at all. Only those little bits and pieces that, this guy invented peanut butter. There's so much more that he did than just peanut butter. But he invented peanut butter. And we're slaves. We invented peanut butter, and then Martin Luther King had a dream, and he was shot, and that's the end of Black history. We didn't contribute anything. I had to go and buy books and read,
Right.
And that's how I know certain things. And I feel that's one of the reasons if you don't give Black people argument, like when a white person is saying, well, you guys didn't do this, and you didn't do that, we did this and we did that. You kind of start feeling sometimes like maybe your people didn't contribute to history, to the betterment of the United States, which that's not true. A lot of things that people live off right now, Black people that invented it, and it's just that we weren't taught, so we don't know. And I just have the feeling like a lot of people that are living in projects and feel like, well, I don't have any future. They need to be taught that, listen, we as a people contributed to America. You can be anything that you want to be. All you got to do is have the right mindset to get out of this place here.
Right there. That right there, Coozie. The mindset. Everything, any position that you believe you're in is a position of just that, belief. If you say you're in prison, it is what you believe. That's why there are people who are incarcerated right now that are getting by and getting through, and they're happy because in their mind, this is just for a time and it's just a displacement, but they're not imprisoned. People that live in what we consider the hood, the ghetto. When I was growing up in Jamaica, almost every day I was in Waterhouse. Before moving to Hughenden, I lived in Zadie Gardens. Almost every day I was in Waterhouse. I went to St. George's College down on North Street. I went to church in downtown Kingston, the heart of downtown Kingston, at 19 North Parade at the Salvation Army. I would drive down Chancery Lane when I started driving and do this mother. I'd hail her every morning. Every Sunday morning, driving down Chancery Lane.
Mm-hmm.
These were friends that lived on the lane, that lived in Waterhouse. These places that are considered ghetto. My little sister lived in Waterhouse. I was always, Seaview Gardens. I was always in the community. It was a state of mind. Because some of the best and most influential people that I knew came out of the ghetto. State of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we here now in the United States feeling oppressed or downpressed, whichever way you want to put it. We can do something about it. The fact that we're saying that we can it's only when we're violent that we are heard. Listen, that is coming from a history of violence. The United States, built on violence. Civil War. And they say that was the only way to get answers and to get the responses that you wanted. Really? Was it? Or was there something behind it? Throughout history, people have gained what they wanted through violence. You find it in the Bible. You read about it when you read about the Crusades, which also happened in the name of religion. All coming through violence. So we may as well just war for everything. Why is it against the law to fight for what you want if that is what everything is built on? Does that compute? Does that make sense? The only way to get
Yeah.
what you're trying to accomplish is through violent means, but doing that is using violence is against the law.
You know something? As you say that, realize that America has done some violent things and, call themselves conquerors after doing it. I remember a guy in a movie saying, you kill a few people and you're a murderer, but you kill millions of people and you're a conqueror.
Yeah.
So,
But this is something that has happened throughout history, not just here in the
yeah,
United States, throughout history. The funny thing is, it seems to have been a method used by mostly Europeans. Not to say it wasn't used by Africans, but based on what we know of Africans, they were a more peaceful race.
mm,
When Africans started coming to the United States during the time of the Silk Trade, using boats, Christopher Columbus hadn't come here yet.
yeah,
But that's not in our history books now, is it? It's not. That's not what we are taught in history.
never.
And there's evidence of that. It takes change, but we need to use the system that is in place to get that change. And the more we step up, understand we're going to get a fight. No doubt we are going to get a fight. And we're going to get a fight because nobody wants to lose the luxury of the power they have.
That's
Nobody
exactly
likes to be
true.
dethroned. And that's exactly what is going to happen. There was mention of this the prosecuting attorney in our district attorney in Los Angeles, the black one. Listen, she has to abide by rules. And someone else is calling the shots. Everybody has to answer to somebody.
Hmm.
What we fail to realize as a nation, as a people on a whole, is that we here at this level, at our level, the common man, we have the power. And until we hold the people that we put in place accountable or get rid of them and replace them, we're giving away our power. Every time, every 4 years, these people have to come to us. We don't go to them. That's why they campaign. They're coming to us with their policies, with their issues that they're presenting, their agenda. No, you need to
Yeah.
come to me for me to give you my agenda.
Sometimes it seems like people don't learn, though, because I remember right here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the mayor, he went to jail, spent, I think it was 7 years in jail
Mm-hmm.
for the stuff that he was doing when he was mayor. And he came back out, he ran for mayor, and he's mayor right now.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we accept what's given to us, it will always happen. I actually like the guy. I'm not exactly sure what he went to jail for. The reason why I like him, I think the reason why a lot of people like him is because he's so accessible. He's a guy that if you're throwing a party or something like that, he's there. You know, no matter what color you are, you know, your financial status or anything like that, you invite him, he's there. Any little event you're putting on, any, you know, fundraiser, whatever, I see this guy very often. So that might be the reason why other people like him as well. He's very accessible, you know. But at the same time, you know, my whole point is that if that's the way things are, and you keep on putting up with the same thing, if the guy is crooked, it doesn't matter how much you like him. You got to get him out of there. But if you accept it, and that's what you want, I mean, that's what you're always going to get. You know?
You hit the nail on the head right there, though. If the guy is crooked and you like him, you're still going to keep him there because you like him. Here's the thing. When people have a tendency to go with what they like or what they can relate to. So you as a Jamaican running for a political office, I am going to say, hey, you know what? One of my people running for office, I need to go and support my people. And everybody wants to feel a part of a group. So now you can relate to this individual.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody also likes people that are likable. So you check out campaign pictures and the people on the pictures, they're smiling and they look pleasant. There's a reason for that. Because they want to put out a likable trait.
Mm-hmm.
So people will vote for them. And a lot of times, that is what people go with. Oh, I like this one. He talks nice. He must be intelligent. So I'm going to go with that. What does that individual stand for? Oh, you know what? I don't know. But they're pretty cool. I'm going to go vote for him. I'm going to go vote for her.
That's it.
In the part here, knowledge is power. The following is a quote from Dr. King. Rarely do we feed men, women who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There's an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than haunt to think. I don't know. There might be some glitches in autocorrect. Might be wreaking havoc on this text here. I didn't quite get all of that. Oh, by the way, people, if you want to call in really quickly, you can do that. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. You can call. I can talk to you as I'm talking to Coozie. If you want to just give him a word of encouragement and telling him, oh, nothing pains some people more than having to think. Okay, cool. See? I told you it was autocorrect.
Yeah.
But, Coozie, you know, one of the earlier posts in the Stew Pot said, you know, thank God you're here today to tell your story. Because any of those stops could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And how do you feel towards law enforcement?
Right now, I've learned to, you know, not really fear them anymore. And I'm not like a lot of people that, you know, just hate police blindly. They've given me a hard time, but it's not every cop that's bad. It's just that I've run into a lot of bad ones, you know. But the fact is, I think that we need police. Imagine if we didn't have any police on the road. We have a lot of things out there, you know, to fear other than police.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of times you might call them as a black person, they don't even come.
Someone
But
said
we
the,
do.
the
We do need police.
yeah, we do. Someone posted that the first police force was created 20 years before the abolition of slavery in New York.
Hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know that either.
But
yeah,
not only that, before slavery was abolished, the Constitution was written. So the Constitution really wasn't written for black people, because as a black person, as a slave, you weren't even considered a man, a whole person.
yeah,
You're 3/5 of a person, but not a person. And this is why I say, without knowing the law, we can't fight and win this battle, this war. Because there will be battles that we will lose. But the idea is to keep at it so that we can win the war. And the
definitely.
way to do that is to arm ourselves with knowledge. For years, I have heard, I think probably for most of my life, I've heard, you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. It's not only applicable to black people. If you want to believe that as a black person, that's up to you. But I know several people of other races, other cultures, well, other races, that they don't know anything because it's in a book. And they don't know how to read.
I could call out a political person right now, but I'll leave that. Leave it alone.
You know, listen, if you're telling the truth is the truth.
Mm.
And that's what it is. You know, I am not encouraging anybody to go out there and fight with anybody, and that's not what I'm about. I'm in fact, the riots don't make sense to me. Because if you're going to go through your town, the town that you live in, and destroy it, it's your tax-paying dollars that still has to rebuild this town. So what is going to happen with your taxes?
Yeah,
Not
I
only
never
that,
understood that.
not only that, you're going to destroy the neighborhood drugstore, the pharmacy. But you or your relative need prescriptions to fill. They're going to get filled where? You're going to destroy the
Yeah.
police station, and then someone is robbing your mom. You're going to call who?
Yeah,
Rioting is fueled by rage, and little to no logic is applied to it. It's dumb.
yeah,
In my opinion, it's dumb. Yeah, it gets you to raise an eyebrow. But guess what? If you present your case using the very same information or the very same logic that is being applied, you speak the language that they know, they don't have a choice but to look up and see who it is that is presenting this information. Call them out on what they're doing and use the facts to back it up. And then hold these people accountable. When it comes time to get rid of them, don't have short memories. Don't be fooled. One of the things with Jamaicans, and growing up in Jamaica, every year with elections, every time elections roll around, I see it happening, and I'm baffled by it. Even as a child, I didn't get it. I was asking as a child, why don't these people that are in charge of these constituencies, why don't they live in their constituency?
Yeah.
So every year, every time elections rolling around, you know that it's coming up because the roads start to get patched. And you start to see your local representative coming around. But that doesn't just happen in Jamaica. I see that happening here in the United States. So I guess they learned it in Jamaica from somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that too. I remember in Jamaica, around in Buff Bay, I used to stay in Portland. You know, my parents moved to Buff Bay after I was born, so that's where I claim when people ask me. But water would come back, you know, because water gone every minute.
Yeah.
And when the water comes back, people say, "What? Water? Must be election time."
Right.
Oh,
And, you know, you laugh at those things now, but that is the reality. And that's what we live all the time. You know, so we go from moment to moment with a little bit of a reward. You train an animal by rewarding them when they do what you're trying to get them to do.
yeah.
And then you slowly take away the reward. And they keep doing what you want them to do because they remember the reward.
Yeah. You know what? If there's anything that I would like to say when, you know, because you brought up something just now, and it sparked something, you know, that I've been trying to get across to people, that you can change the system. A lot of people say that, well, it's always been that way, you know, you can't change it. You know, it's just like even like marijuana, nobody thought they would eventually free up the marijuana. You know, there was alcohol before that, you know, beer and stuff like that, moonshine.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, I read something one time, and I said, yo, that's really how things are, you know. That's how people are mind conditioned to think. Okay, it's like an example. I read it, somebody sent it to me one time, that if you put a bunch of monkeys in a cage, and you have a ladder, and there's some bananas up top of the ladder, when the monkeys go for the bananas, you spray them down with water, man, you know, some heavy water. And every time they try to get up there, you spray them down with the water. And so they know now that's why, you know, something, I did not go for that banana because I'm going to get sprayed with the water.
Right.
You take out a monkey and put in a new monkey, and the monkey sees it up on the ladder, and he goes for the
bananas.
For the bananas. So you spray all of them down, you know. Not just the one that goes for it. Spray down that monkey. And then he kind of learns. Okay?
Right.
You take out a monkey, put in a new monkey. And when the new monkey goes for the banana, all of them beat him down.
Yeah.
So the monkey doesn't even know what's going on. He just knows that, boy, if he goes up there for the banana, everybody's going to beat him down, so he doesn't go. You take out one of the original monkeys and put in a new monkey.
Yeah.
And they will all beat down the monkey that tries to go up there for the banana.
Right.
So eventually, you have none of the original monkeys that got sprayed. You just have all new monkeys that are following suit to beat down the new monkey that comes in.
Yep.
They don't even know why this is going on, but they just beat that monkey down. And that's how people are brainwashed nowadays. We all think that, okay, it's always been this way.
Yeah.
So we just readily accept what's going on. And that's why you have people out there, you know, just saying, well, okay, you know, healthcare, we can't have free healthcare because, you know, the government says this and that, and we're going to have to find a way to pay for it. So all of it, you know, we we just accept
Exactly.
everything that's there in place when we can change it. We just don't have the
Exactly.
mindset to change it.
That's right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
And it's as simple
yeah.
as that.
Yeah,
But
we've all been mind conditioned,
but
brainwashed.
but it's too simple. Although it's as simple as that, it is too simple. And
Yeah.
we go for the hard thing. We go for the destruction of property. We go for the feeling downtrodden and disheartened. Because the powers that be know that nobody's going to come up against them. Because either we're too afraid or we don't know how. That's why knowledge is power. The same knowledge is available to each and every one of us. But here you go. If you need a college education to do this, that, or the other, you can't get it because it's expensive. So only a certain group can get this education. And unless you get this education, you can't have certain jobs. However,
Yeah.
the person who doesn't have that education can do that same job. Because
Yeah.
it is a learned function. And once you have the ability to learn, you can do the job.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah. But,
the president of America right now has proven that.
oh, yeah. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this before in my lifetime, and I don't think that I'll ever see it again.
Well,
You know,
we right now
possible.
are in a position to make a change. We are in a position to make sure that we don't see it again. You, through your music, me, through this program. Everybody has a way. There are writers out there, write. Musicians, play music. Singers, they need to sing. Artists, painters, they need to paint. Whomever, whatever it is that you do, you need to do it.
I encourage each other, everybody to support each other, because fact is, even if you're on Facebook, just sharing somebody's post can help out a situation as well. I think that a lot of people are way too selfish and, not supportive of each other to basically, endorse each other and make sure that each one of us that are out there trying can move forward.
That's another reason why we fail.
Yeah.
Because
and
we're not
it applies
united.
to small businesses too.
We're not united.
No.
We don't support
Yeah.
each other. Whether it is a business, as in a brick and mortar business, we don't support our own. And we don't
Yeah,
support
we have
each
to.
other.
That's a big part of it, man. Because economically, so what I've heard, back when there was segregation, the money was staying in the neighborhoods, and black people were actually doing better. And then we stopped supporting each other, stopped supporting the man on the corner. They got a little shop.
Right.
What was it? What's his name? Wow, there's a movie I watched one time where a guy went and showed his friend the way that black people can move ahead, by owning their own business. And instead of building somebody else's dream, you build your own.
Right.
But at the same time, we need support from everybody to make sure that we prosper.
Yeah.
We can do it on our own. I mean, the best thing to do is have help from everybody, but you start by helping your neighbor, keep the money in the community, and you can make a difference.
People
We
talk
can
about the
all help each
Jews.
other.
People talk about the Jews all the time. And they don't think that they can adapt what they do. People talk about the Chinese all the time. People talk about Hispanics coming to the United States and Haitians coming to the United States. Listen, they all of them that have prospered have done so by supporting each other. So
Yeah.
you and I, you have a business, and I support your business, and I want to start a business. What will it take from you to invest in me, who has been investing in you? When you do that and help to build my business, your business will also grow. The multi-level marketing was built on this. And everybody will run to multi-level marketing, but they won't go to building each other. We won't go to building ourselves with the support of those around us. Because we're crabs in barrels.
I've told other band leaders and artists and everything, local ones, that if we all support each other, then we all can make a difference in each of our careers. Because you find that if you have 100 fans and I have 100 fans, I share your post. Now there's 200 people that it reached.
Thank you.
Instead of 100.
Thank you.
You reach 200 through me, and I'll reach 200 through you. So
exactly.
Us helping each other benefits each other. But no, they don't listen.
Now, when you get booked for a show because of somebody in their group, and everybody loves that show, and they rebook you, now you're in a position to say, okay, I can split my segment with another band and bring that band on and share the spoils.
You know something? At the same time, you can actually, say you have a gig someplace, a regular gig that you're always playing.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually give a night to a man, and
yeah.
Then he do the same. I mean, you do the same thing. He does the same thing. Now you're playing at two places instead of one. He's playing at two places instead of one.
Thank you.
Everybody do the same thing, and because the fact is, once you're too regular in one spot, people start getting tired of the same old thing.
There you go.
Yeah, spread the wealth instead of trying to tear down people. If you have a friend that has a good band, you recommend them. People don't think like that. They try to keep everything for themselves, and it's not a good thing. It doesn't work out in the end.
And really and truly, that is just simplifying how we grow as a community. That's in its simplest form. That's how we grow. I don't know who didn't grow up hearing "No Man is an Island." I know we in Jamaica, we sang that in school. I sang it. I was a part of my school choir when I went to primary school. The equivalent of elementary school.
Yeah.
No man is an island, no man stands alone.
But it's to get people to actually listen to the message. Love the tune, but don't really grasp the message that well.
Yeah. We
all need each other.
And normally I start off my shows with a little soca tune. Tonight I started it with you guys' song.
Thank you very much.
Because it was important. Not only because you were coming on to tell your experience, but to set the tone. And normally I could find a good soca song that speaks to, and I do that because it's a part of the Caribbean community, and I don't play a lot of soca music on this show. So to start it off, I give the people some soca music. I need some zouk. I haven't introduced any zouk to the show, but to spread the awareness around, to spread the culture around.
Mhm.
But listen to the message in the music when we listen to music, and I'm gonna play the song again
Awesome.
because of the message in the music. I'll play a couple of other songs if I can get them, if I can squeeze them in. And Coozie, I want to thank you for taking the time out to share with us, and I want to encourage you to keep your head up and to stay positive.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the time, and hopefully we could do it again sometime, and talk about something on a positive note out of this experience that we're going through right now.
I'll definitely be bringing you back on a Monday night, so we can look at Coozie Mellers, the man with the music. We get to learn about you and coming up and learning music and getting the band together. We'll see if we can do an anthem reggae band night. One Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
In
That would be
the same
lovely.
time slot.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. I got a lot of stories. I was privileged to tour with Jackie Mitchell, the great Jackie Mitchell and U-Roy.
And I know Marlon will love that,
Buster.
because Marlon is a reggae music edutainer extraordinaire.
Yeah. My friends when I was younger, man, is people like Johnny Osborne, and the first person to teach me a chord on the guitar was Horace Andy.
See?
So I was around a lot of people when I was younger, man. I was really privileged. Jump right into this music thing, man, and it's a lot of good stories for me to tell.
Yeah, so we'll set that up. We'll definitely set that up for a Monday night in the near future.
Okay. All right, thanks again. I appreciate it. Bless up everybody. Big love to all of the listeners. And check out the band, Anthem Reggae Band, on Facebook or Anthem Band, anthemband.com. The website. Don't know when we'll be live again. We actually do have a show on the 19th of June.
A virtual show?
I'm not sure. It's an outdoor show, big thing, but I'm not sure what's going to go on. The people said that it's still on, but I'm still trying to figure out, do they really want to do this?
The jury is still out on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Coozie.
All right. So
Much love, brother.
Okay. Thanks again.
Blessings.
Bless up.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Yeah.
This is Anthem Reggae Band. It's called What Kind of World. You had Coozie on your show back in 2016. That's a long time. You need to have him back.
Them a got tired of the fuss and fight. The youth them just a war and them a lose them life. Better them go find a little hustle and go put on the gun. We don't know, but the system a turn them in a outlaw. And me sure them a get charged with murder. But the youth them a get out of order. And them no care about no officer. What kind of world are we living in?
I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those who donate to the website. Thank you. And I do want to encourage you to look out for members of your community, because your community is not just the development that you live in, it spreads far and wide. The people that you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, on the train, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew, so I like to do it to you, with you, and for you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to midnight, right here, kevinstew.com.
Look how much people get started and still yet them don't know their father.
As you go into the rest of the week, into the strong end, think about what you're doing and who you're doing it with and the outcome that you hope to accomplish. Do check out Melissa Jane tomorrow on Melissa Jane Show. Do check out G. Cole on Homegrown with G. Cole. Dan Minot was in here earlier. These are all individuals with a voice. You can find them on social media. Do check them out. And be good. But if you can't be good, be good if you can't be good. Be good at it, yeah? The sound of anthem reggae band, it's called What Kind of World. I'll catch you on Monday with Community and Finance. You take care until then. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you good night. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.